when there's so much like smoke and mirrors, or there's so much unknown about the black box or the magic that happens with SEO and other marketing, um, trust and transparency are vital. Absolutely.
Welcome to the Exact Marketing Advice podcast, where we break down the latest trends, insights, and best practices in digital marketing to help you grow your business. I'm Vanessa Baisas, and today we're sitting down with Tarun Gehani, SEO Director at Pure Visibility, who's been with the company for an impressive 8 years. We'll talk about his journey, SEO and PPC insights, working with clients, and industry trends. Tarun, welcome.
Thank you, Vanessa.
So 8 years at the same agency is a very big deal, especially in digital marketing. What's kept you at Pure Visibility for so long?
Yeah, it is. It's a long time, especially in this industry. I think people tend to bounce around a bit. I've stayed with Pure Visibility. I mean, we have a great team, a great culture. We focus on like continual learning and just have an opportunity to make a real impact. Um, so, digital marketing is constantly evolving, and Pure Visibility likes to stay like on the forefront of industry trends. We also have a great culture of just learning and experimenting and refining strategies. So that really has kept me here. We're focused on long-term success for our clients, and so I'm really passionate about what I do, and seeing the results, keeps me going. Um, and Linda, our CEO, she's really established a really good environment of um, like collaboration, innovation. So it just makes every day interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So let's get a little bit specific when you talk about the changes and trends that you're seeing. What's the biggest change you've seen in the company or just in general the industry that since you started?
Um, so the company's been around a long time, and as you know, we just talked about, I've been here a bit. I've been in the industry over 15 years now, starting in web design and development, but quickly moving into SEO and marketing. So a lot's changed, as you're well aware. Um, I mean, I think how I would approach that question is maybe a little different. Like, as much as things have changed, a lot has stayed the same. Especially when we're talking about like Google and Google search. We still have these like core fundamentals that influence not only ranking but search behavior and how users are interacting and finding information. Um, those core fundamentals, good user experience, high quality content, understanding user intent and what's valuable to the end user. But as an industry, I think, when I look back, um, just, there's always like the new social media platform that comes out, but it's essentially the same effort, the same tactics. I think when I look at other agencies, that aspect of the industry, um, probably what's changed the most is people tend to be more specialized now, which I think is important versus like a full service, all encompassing agency.
Hmm. Absolutely. So as an SEO director, what's a typical day like for you, or is there even such a thing?
Yeah, each day is different. That's why I like it. But there's a lot. Week to week is virtually the same at a high level. So a lot of my time is spent just client relations. Making sure our strategies are aligning with business goals and not just marketing objectives. So it's reviewing campaign performance, optimizing the strategies. Collaborating with my team on technical SEO and content. I also spend a lot of time on keeping up with algo updates, testing new AI tools and just new technology in general. Another key focus is education. So not only just like educating our clients to best practices and maybe here's what we're recommending, here's why we're recommending it, what we feel the impact will be, but also education for the greater community. We're really involved in the local community here in Ann Arbor. So leading a lot of like free workshops and trainings. Like I said, I'm really passionate about this, and I like to share that knowledge.
I can tell, and I love it. That's the beauty of what we do is there has to be a lot of passion that comes into marketing because you have to have a
Absolutely.
lot of passion with your clients in whatever industry that they're in. So that being said, you and Pure Visibility work with clients across many industries. Do you
Right.
have a favorite type of business to work with, or any unexpected ones that you have found to be
Mm.
very interesting?
That's a cool question. I don't know if I have a favorite. I think that's what keeps me here and keeps me going. To be honest, is the fact that we have clients in many different industries and different sizes. Right now, one of our core focus industries is multi-location, so like multi-family, like apartment management companies, or just businesses with many locations. That allows us to do what we do best, and that is, merge PPC strategy with SEO strategy. So a lot of Google ad campaigns, and then local SEO strategy as well. So I enjoy that just because we can see how we have an impact in various regions throughout the U.S. And there's a lot of nuances and differences there. So it keeps things challenging, but in a good way. Um, for different industries like e-commerce, we'll want to adjust our strategy and really drive down on like technical SEO, schema markup, things like this, really like conversion focused content, whereas like, as I mentioned, local businesses will just really get, hyper local focus and look at the nuances between different keywords um, based on location. Um, so I wouldn't say there's like one favorite industry, but you know, each one is unique and each one has challenges, and we strive within that. Yeah.
That's what keeps it exciting. It's because we're never bored in this industry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially when you don't work with it within a specific industry. It's always exciting learning the challenges, figuring out ways to get ahead of that. So a lot of clients they think that they need one thing, right? But then you
Mm-hmm.
realize they actually need something else or take more of a holistic approach. How do you navigate those conversations, and why do you think taking a holistic approach is so important in digital marketing?
Yeah, there's you're absolutely right. There's a lot of clients or like prospective clients that will come and say, "Hey, we need help managing our Google ads," or "We need SEO," and they've already sort of decided what they need, which is great. An educated client is a good client. So we'll sort of like meet them where they are and say, "Okay, you have this need or this um, pain point with Google Ads." So we always start with like a deep discovery session, as I'm sure many other agencies do. So we just want to understand, as intimately as we can, their target audience, their differentiators as a business, and then see like what are those challenges. At the end of the day, uh, every business wants to increase revenue. I mean, that's the bottom line. How we get there is arguably less important, as long as you're getting a return on that effort, return on that investment. Um, so we'll meet them where they are, as I mentioned, and then through our evaluation and our process, maybe we'll uncover other opportunities. If they came to us saying they need PPC management, we can start on those campaigns. And as you know, you can get really quick results with something like PPC. So then we use that data, those keywords that are converting, or keywords with maybe really high cost per click. And we take that data and we bake that into our organic strategy and say, okay, let's build that into a content strategy and try to rank for those terms we know are going to convert, or we know are kind of expensive on the PPC side. Um, and then so we're left with something that's not just our recommendation based on expertise and experience, but it's also the data that's driving those decisions.
Data driven insights to bring results. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But beyond the rankings and beyond the traffic, how would you define true successes in a campaign?
Yeah. I mean, rankings are great. Traffic is great. They don't paint the whole picture. Those are just sort of like top line metrics. Kind of what we were just saying. We need something to move the needle. We need something to drive revenue. So, in addition to tracking keyword rankings and traffic, we want to look at conversions and conversion rate and customer acquisition cost and return on ad spend and different metrics that even by themselves alone are not going to tell the full story either. So it's really uh, a combination of many different metrics, and certain groups of metrics can kind of guide the strategy for different or guide the tactics within that larger strategy. So again, we really push for um, not having PPC or SEO exist in a silo, but integrating it as much as possible, and then using all these KPIs to paint that picture to say, are we reaching our audience? When we get in front of them, are they clicking through? Are they engaging? Are they taking action? And if there's any sort of hiccup or roadblocks within that path, what can we do to smooth that out, to optimize that?
Let's bring them long-term growth, trust, and
Absolutely.
happiness. Because when you bring all those results and the KPIs, and you show the client this is working, all of the strategies we put into play are working, all these things that we're testing out are working, that just builds the trust right there. And that is the
Right.
ultimate goal, is is making sure that they're happy, for sure, as cliche as that sounds.
No, I mean, it is cliche, but cliches are right a lot of the time. And that's, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like trust is critical in this industry. When there's so much like smoke and mirrors, or there's so much unknown about, the black box or the magic that happens with SEO and other marketing, um, trust and transparency are vital. Absolutely.
For sure. So your agency was one of the first Google Premier partners. What does that actually mean for your clients?
Yeah. Linda started this company a while back in 2005. We were one of the first Google Premier partners, as you mentioned. We were one of the first Google partners also. And I think it's just a great opportunity for us in the sense of, we're able to beta test new releases and just have access to Google sooner than other agencies. So we can stay ahead of the curve, or, be with like emerging trends, and again using that data to really drive a lot of our decisions. um, it kind of goes in line with what you just mentioned. It's a trust factor too, right? People see that logo on our website, or they see it in a proposal or a case study, and it helps instill that trust, that expertise. And it's a testament to the PPC team. Steve, our paid search director, he's been doing this longer than I have, even. So really deep expertise throughout the company here, and it just helps us, not only for new relationships instill that trust, but also kind of just like a testament to the work and the effort that we've put in as individuals, to have that recognition.
So AI and automation has been the talk of the town recently, especially within our industry. There's a lot of trends coming about. What is one trend you're really excited about?
Ooh, yeah, AI is, hot topic, and it has been for a little bit, and I think it will be for a while too. Um, I mean, there's a couple schools for thought. A lot of people are saying that we're still in the very beginnings, which I believe we are. Other people are saying, there's a lot of hype. This is a bubble, different things like that. I think as it applies to our industry specifically, um, or just marketing in general, I think it's really exciting. We're in a really unique time right now where um, people should experiment. People should test all the tools. Um, look at things where we use AI. It's not a replacement, right? It's a tool. You can't replace a lot of your work or personnel just with a tool. But what you can do is you can become much more efficient at your existing workflows. So what I'm excited about and what we've started to build into our processes is just that. How can we be efficient with AI? Um, it helps us with the research process, as I mentioned, with clients in a lot of different industries. Maybe there's a particular type of business that we're not deeply familiar with. In the past, we would just do a bunch of Google searches and dig and look at research papers and different publications. Now we still do that, but we have AI to help speed up the process. Similar with like keyword research, we're not going to have a tool automate it completely because there's some nuances and differences there. But what it allows us to do is start with like a seed list and have a tool expand that out maybe in ways that we wouldn't have, like maybe the questions we wouldn't have thought to ask. The tool has enough data to kind of guide us along in that aspect. um, and there's a lot of people in the industry, many people smarter than me that are developing a lot of really useful, amazing tools. And I like the SEO community overall because a lot of it is shared, it's open, and so I think over time we'll just see more use cases for AI.
It makes me want to change up the phrase of work smarter, not harder. I want to change it to be work harder and smarter with AI.
Ah, nice.
With AI. So you still got to put enough work in. You got to be able to humanize it as well. But AI is just, it works as a great assistant, I'd say, to help
Yeah,
brainstorm and proofread your work, or make sure you're on the right page when you're doing something. But
yeah,
then at the same time, you're still going to have to review it, humanize
right.
it, I like to say. So work harder and
And
smarter.
smarter. Yeah, you got something there. Nice little tagline. And I mean, any tool is only as powerful as the user, right? I can get, a Fender Stratocaster guitar, but I don't know how to play guitar, so it's not going to sound good. But someone who has that knowledge, those skills, having an upgrade, to their guitar or whatever tool we're talking about, is going to make that skill shine.
Exactly. Well, my last question for you, Tarun, is if you could give one piece of advice to businesses trying to improve their digital marketing, what would it be?
Um, Well, I would say hire us, but then the more serious answer is just do it. I mean, I think a lot of times businesses and people on many levels, we tend to overanalyze. We tend to maybe be a little afraid of change or unsure of going in a particular direction, especially if it's new or if it's not our area of expertise. So yeah, so I'd say just do it, especially with what we were just talking about with AI tools. It sort of lowers the barrier to entry, so to speak, and you can fail fast. You can experiment quickly. You can learn what's working and sort of double down there, learn what's not working, and just nip it in the bud. Um, so yeah, I think just doing it, just taking action. There's lots to be said with like momentum, compounding interest, and then the sooner you get started, the more data you have, and really the numbers don't lie, and they can kind of guide you along to future long-term success.
Awesome. Well, a huge thank you to you, Tarun, for joining us today and sharing such valuable insights. If
Oh,
you
of
enjoyed
course.
this episode and want to learn more about peer visibility and our guest today, go to purevisibility.com and see you next time on the Exact Marketing Advice Podcast.
Thank you, Vanessa.